Morning recovery road. So this is the day after yesterday's video. Why in the world I put that video so public for everybody to see, I don't know the answer yet. However, I do not regret it because I had a strong almost being pushed from behind, almost like by invisible force, to put that video public, because I was not alone in this. What happened yesterday, I'm sure you have had your moments of emotional breakdown, and if you have not had them yet, you will. They're coming, because you are human beings. So, recovery road. What do I do to recover? I go and I actually do read the Bible. I go back into the Bible. I felt strongly that I should have done that for the past 2 weeks, more so than I usually do. I didn't do it. I'm doing it now because I have an incentive. Don't we all do that? When we have an incentive, we actually pay more attention to things that we should have paid attention before, even though I had the feeling in it that I should have done it. But I didn't. I got busy. I chose not to. I chose to do other things, like regular living, other things. And another thing is, I was able to talk to one of my brother, and that's always, so my brother Aline, always comforting, and God really does work a lot through our conversations, Aline and I. And also because we have the same background and we have the same history, and it's easier for me to accept his advice versus anybody else's advice that does not have the same history, because I know where he's coming from, because we've been through it together. So it's easier to accept. So that's why sometimes you have to pay attention to, God works through everybody, but we listen to some people more than others, and we tend to listen to the ones that we feel like we have a connection to. In this case, my brother, we have the same history. So maybe my husband Chad may be telling me the same thing that my brother says, and my ears are shut to my husband, versus they're very open to my brother because of that history together. And then, of course, my friend Simona. Thank you, girl. Thank you so much. And Nelly. I'm not gonna say much, but you know what I'm coming from, and you know why. There's a history there as well. And I thank all of you that have been praying for me. So I ended up going back to Psalm 23, which has been, like I said, every night. I say it out loud. I pray Psalm 23 before I go to bed. It was a little bit more meaningful this time than the other nights. And I have been asking God, what happened? I could not stop crying. What happened? Well, I can tell you this, and Eastern European people that were raised in the communism mentality may understand it better. I do have a feeling that a lot of other people are going to understand this just as well. We were taught to show strength, a falsehood of strength, through a Marxism way of belief, where the strong is the one, the fittest of, what's it called, survival of the fittest, meaning if you're the strongest, you will survive, and the weak die or killed them. So keep that in mind. So we had to show that iron strength, every citizen, otherwise you were seen as the weak. I'm gonna try not to cry. That's not how God works. What God showed me today, because I prayed before a lot, and read the Bible, and talked to my brother, like I said, and read what Simona, my friend, said, and really pondered on everything, and been reading a lot, been talking to God a lot, trying to figure out what happened. And this is what God told me. And it's a process. It's gonna be tomorrow. I'm gonna make a video, and probably the next day, because it's a process. This is not a 1, 2, 3 yip-de-doody, magic formula, magic wand. You're healed. Everything is good. Go back. It's a process. Step number 1. Crying is a cleansing process. And that's probably one of the biggest and the point that I got today. There's nothing to be ashamed of. And we all need it for the health, both of our bodies, but mostly of our minds. Crying is a cleansing process that we all need to do. If you were raised in a communism kind of environment, you seldomly do, not because you don't feel the need to, but because you think you are weak if you do so. I thought that for years, until I got really sick these past couple of years, and the things that I told myself, pick up yourself, just do it, we can do it, and it no longer worked. So I had to really rely now and ask God to help me understand some other things that maybe they were just as important, if not more so. So, crying is a cleansing process. We all need it for the health of the body and the health of the mind. And we all mourn. Honestly, we all mourn something, some sort of loss. We all have losses in our hearts. But maybe not as public as my video yesterday. Sorry for the movement. I just smacked my arm. But we all do it. And we need it. So I think I'm gonna close here with... I'll continue tomorrow and probably the next day, maybe even further, we'll see. I only got 3 days of answers from God so far. Maybe there are gonna be more, maybe not. But number 1 is crying is a cleansing process and is deemed healthy from both a scientific point of view, but very much from God's point of view. So put aside any not a religion, but cultural things that you have, you've been raised with, and realize that it's all right to cry. It's not all right to cry all the time. Well, I don't know what's all right actually, so I shouldn't be saying it's not all right to cry all the time. If you need to have a lot of cleansing, go ahead and cry. I just know that crying is a cleansing process. That's step number 1 towards recovering. That I'm going, and I'm doing this to kind of show you how I go through recovery. And I woke up, I'm not crying yet. I do have a sense of inside kind of crying, but I also have a sense of strength as well, and of hope, and of answers. Have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much for your encouragement and for your prayers. I don't think I would be able to do it without well, first of all, God, but God helps us through each other. So thank you so much, and have a good rest of the day, and most likely we'll talk tomorrow with the next step that I've found out towards recovery.